Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine and in proper health. So in today's class, we're going to talk about a new and fresh chapter, that is chapter 11, formation, erosion and conservation of soil. Okay, so here are some inside the chapter points. First point is soil, and the next point is how is soil formed. Then the next one is layers of soil. Then next one, life in soil. Next, types of soil like gravel, sandy, clay and loamy. Okay, next one is soil erosion, and the next one is conservation of soil. Okay, so in this chapter we are going from step by step. Like the first one is soil. Soil is composed of organic and inorganic matter. The organic matter consists of decayed plants and animals. The inorganic matter consists of particles of rocks and mineral salts. Soil is considered as a natural resource. It is as important as air and water for our survival. We need soil for growing crops, building houses, and for making pots and toys. Okay, plants get water and nutrients from the soil. Animals and human beings depend on plants either directly or indirectly for their food. So there is lifeless without soil. So that means in this soil one, soil is composed of both organic and inorganic matter. The organic matter consists of decayed plant and animal. The dead and decayed plants and animal, like the dead plants and dead animals. Okay. The inorganic matter consists of particles of little rocks and mineral salts. That is the inorganic matter. Okay. Soil is considered as a natural resource. It is not a man-made one. It is a natural resource. It is as important as air and water for our survival, because if soil is not there, then how can plants grow on the land? Okay, so it requires soil. It requires soil for the growth. Okay, and plants can't grow in the cemented one. Okay, cemented land they can't grow, so they require soil. And we need soil for growing crops. For building our houses also we need soil, because we are using the soil also for building our houses, and making pots and toys we are using the soil. Plants get water and nutrients from the soil only. Okay, animals and human beings also depend on soil either directly or indirectly. Okay, and so we can't imagine our life without soil. So our life is like lifeless without soil. Okay, now we're going to talk about how this soil formed. So it is saying like it is asking how is soil formed. So it is saying soil is formed from rocks that are broken into very small pieces. Rocks get heated up by the sun. They get cooled at night. Repeated heating and cooling break them into smaller pieces. Flowing water causes these rock pieces to bang against each other. This further breaks the rocks into much smaller pieces. These tiny pieces of rock get carried away to far off places by water or wind. Gradually, they turn into powder-like substance called soil. This powder, together with the remains of dead animals and plants, make up the soil that we have today. Okay, so basically it is telling you that how the soil form, how the process of this soil like begin. Like soil is formed from rocks only. Like when the rocks break down by repeated heating and cooling. Okay, and it break down into smaller, finer pieces. Then at that particular moment, we can say that the soil is formed. Flowing water causes the big rock to divide into some two or three pieces. Okay, to bang against each other. They also bang against each other, these big rocks, and this further breaks the rocks. This further breaks the rocks into much smaller pieces, finer pieces, and these tiny pieces of rock get carried away easily to far off places, like by the help of water or wind. Okay, gradually they turn into powder like substances, like it is a powder type of substance called known as soil. This powder, together with the remain of dead animals and plants, make up the soil that we have today. Okay, that means the fertile one. Okay, so here you can see in this figure the layer in the soil given. So there are like varieties, different layers in the soil. Okay, so now we're going to talk about this layer of the soil, layers of soil. There are three layers in the soil. These are, first one is topsoil, second one subsoil, third one bedrock. Okay, so there are layers of soil. So the first one is topsoil, second one is subsoil, and the third one is bedrock. Okay, so what is this topsoil? Topsoil is a dark colored layer at the top of the soil. It is fertile and suitable for plants to grow. It mainly contains human and it mainly contains humus and fine particles of soil. So basically this topsoil is a dark colored layer at the top of the soil, and it is fertile. It is very much fertile and suitable for the crops to grow, and it mainly contain humus and fine particle of soil. Okay, just below the topsoil there is a layer of light colored soil called subsoil. It is not suitable for growing plants. The bottom layer of the soil is called bedrock. It consists of hard, solid rocks. So basically, after this topsoil comes the subsoil, which is under this topsoil only. And this subsoil is very much light in color. It is light color soil, and it is not suitable. This subsoil is not suitable for the crops to grow. Okay, for growing plants. And after this, under this subsoil comes the bedrock, and bedrock is the hard substance. It consists of hard solid rocks. That's why it named as bedrock. Okay, now we come to the point, strange but true. So this point is saying natural processes can take more than 500 years to form 2 centimeters of topsoil. So basically, to form topsoil, it takes 500 years. Okay, to form 2 centimeter of this topsoil. Okay, so this also means that one should conserve the soil, and for the plant's growth, and also for human use. Okay, now we're gonna see life in the soil. Like what type of animals live in the soil? So animals like rats and earthworms make burrows in the soil. While digging burrows in the soil, they break the harder parts of the soil. This makes the soil soft. Plants tend to grow well in soft soil because water easily enters the soil through the burrows. The excretion of animals make the soil fertile. Microorganisms like bacteria present in soil fix the atmospheric nitrogen in the soil. So basically, there are some varieties of animals which are present in the soil. so they exist in the soil, and they build their houses and shelter in the soil only. So for example, animals like rats and rabbit, they build burrow to live in the soil area. And also ant live in that soil area. They just build their ant hill and live in that area. And there are also earthworms under the soil, which are the who are also known as the friends of the farmer. They are farmer's friend. And these type of things make the soil fertile and soft. And also plants tend to grow well in this soft soil. And there is also the term that when the animal died, they just got buried deep into that soil area, and that soil become fertile to grow the plant. Okay. And the excretion of animal also make that land fertile. Okay. And microorganism, there is a microorganism like bacteria, which its name is rhizobium. It just fixes the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. Okay. To give that nitrogen mineral to the plant. Okay. So basically that that atmospheric nitrogen is caught up by that microorganism bacteria, that is rhizobium. And that rhizobium is present in the root area of the plant, and that rhizobium just convert that atmospheric nitrogen into the mineral form and give it to the plant. Okay. So this rhizobium is present in leguminous plant. Leguminous plant means like, for example, peas. Okay. So now we're going to talk about types of soil. So here there are 4 types of soil depending on the size, feel and color of the soil particles. So basically there are 4 types of soil depending on the size, feel and color of the soil particles. As you can see in this one, the first one is gravel soil. You can see this gravel soil here in this picture. Gravel is made up of rock pieces. It does not hold water. It is used for laying roads. So basically gravel soil is that type of soil which is made up of pieces of rocks. Okay. And it does not hold water. It can't sustain water in it. Okay. So that's why it is used for laying roads, for making the roads. Okay. Next soil is sandy soil. As you can see in this picture, the sandy soil. Sandy soil is light and contains a little quantity of organic matter. It holds very little water. It gets carried away by the wind. So basically this sandy soil is very much light in weight and quantity, and contains a little quantity and of organic matter. And it contains a little quantity of organic matter, and it holds very little water. Like in gravel soil we see that it doesn't hold any kind of water, but this sandy soil holds very little water, and it just carried away easily by the wind because it is very much lightweighted. Okay. Now come to the next, third one is clay soil. Clay is a heavy soil. It is made up of small particles. It is soft and smooth to touch. Water does not flow freely through this soil. So in this picture also you can see this clay soil. So clay basically is a heavy soil. Okay. And it is made up of small particles. It is very much soft and smooth to touch. And water does not flow freely through this soil, through this clay soil. Okay. Now we come to the fourth one, that is loamy soil. Loamy soil. Loam is a composition of clay, sand and humus. Humus makes the best soil for the growth of plants. Crops grow well in loamy soil. So basically in the figure also you can see this loamy soil over here. So loam is a composition of clay, sand and humus. Loam is a composition of clay, sand and humus make the best soil for the growth of the plants. Okay. And crops grow well in this type of soil, in this loamy soil. Okay, as compared to other 3 soils. Now we're going to talk about soil erosion. Soil erosion. Topsoil comprises fine particles of soil. Strong winds blow away these fine particles. Floods also carry away the floods also carry away the topsoil. This process of the topsoil getting this process of the topsoil getting carried away by wind and water is called soil erosion. Cutting down and clearing away forest on a very large scale also results in soil erosion. Okay, so soil erosion is what? The topsoil, which is very much comprises of fine particles of soil. The strong winds just blow that topsoil. Strong wind just blow that topsoil, and the fine particles are easily carried away. And this flood also carry away the topsoil very much easily. And this process of the topsoil getting carried away by wind, this process of the topsoil which is getting carried away by the wind and water is called soil erosion. The topsoil get carried away by wind and water is called soil erosion. Cutting down and clearing the forest, okay, on a very large scale also result in soil erosion. So cutting down large amount of trees and forest also results in soil erosion. Okay, now we come to the next point, that is conservation of soil. Conservation of soil. By now we know that the topsoil is rich in minerals and is therefore most suitable for growing crops. If this fertile topsoil is blown away, the growth of plants get affected. The protection of topsoil from being blown away or washed away is called conservation of soil. Therefore, conservation of soil is important since it takes hundreds of years for the formation of the topsoil. So basically it is saying that to conserve the soil is very much important, because in the soil erosion process what happen, when you cut off the forest area, then the soil get eroded easily by the help of the wind and by the help of this water. Okay, the flood occurred. Okay, that's why the soil got eroded. And to protect the topsoil, to not get blow away easily or to not get washed away easily, that is known as conservation of soil. That process is known as conservation of soil. Okay, so conservation of soil is very much important to save the soil for the future use and to save the soil for the plant growth and also for the human use. Okay, so soil erosion cannot be prevented completely, but we can adopt certain ways to prevent soil erosion. So we can't get rid of soil erosion completely, but we can prevent it. We can prevent the soil erosion by certain ways. Okay, but before that there is some point, that is keeping update. It is saying cutting down and clearing away forest is called deforestation. So basically cutting down and clearing away forest is known as deforestation, whereas planting more and more amount of trees is known as afforestation. So the opposite of deforestation is what? The opposite of deforestation is afforestation. Okay, and deforestation means cutting down large amount of trees and plants. Okay, or forest area is known as deforestation. Now we're gonna talk about the prevention, like what are the ways to prevent the soil erosion. Okay, so the first one is by terrace farming. As you can see in this figure, the terrace farming, which happen generally in the hilly areas, like you can say in Uttarakhand hilly areas, or in Jammu and Kashmir we can say that, or in Himachal Pradesh we can say that. Okay, so this terrace farming occur. The flow of water on hilly slopes is very rapid. A lot of topsoil is carried away. Because of such a rapid flow of water, farmers build flat rows called terrace on the hillsides and grow crops on them. Farming on such hill slopes is called terrace farming. So basically, the flow of water on hilly slopes is very rapid. Okay, and lot of topsoil, washed away by the water only. Okay, and it happened like a regular period of time. So the farmers thought about it, that they just build that flat rows. They build the flat rows like terrace one, okay, which is called the terrace on the hillside, and then there they grow crops in that small particular type of land. They then grow the crops. So such type of farming on the hilly slope is called terrace farming. Such farming is known as terrace farming. Okay, now the another type of way by which you can prevent the soil erosion is by growing grass and trees. Here you can see the plants are, like seed are sowed, and the plants are growing over this soily area. So it is saying grass is a plant which spreads its root. It covers the topsoil and holds it in such a way that even the strongest of winds cannot blow it away. Trees with long roots grown in rows also hold the soil together and prevent soil erosion. Okay, so by growing grass and trees, one can prevent the soil erosion. So basically, when you grow grass, which is a plant, grass is a plant, when you grow the grass over a particular land or a vacant land, then at that time period, the grass is having the deepest root. Its root are, spread out very much easily on that ground area, and it covers the topsoil area. Okay, and holds it in such a way that even the strongest of winds cannot blow that topsoil away. Okay, and trees with long roots grown in rows also hold the soil firmly, and the topsoil can't be able to, like just washed away, okay, by the wind or water. Okay, so by growing plants or grasses, you can prevent this soil erosion. Okay, now the third way, that is by constructing dams and embankments. So what is this embankments? So basically, embankment is that type of area where you store the water. It can be, a land embankment and water one. So basically, in this one, here the water is stored in embankment one, and it is saying during flood, rivers wash away a lot of topsoil. To prevent this damage, strong dams and embankments are built at places where water strikes against the banks. Dams are built across the river to control the force of flood water. Wall of rocks and stone built against the banks are called embankments. When the water flow is slow, it cannot cause much damage to the soil. So basically, here it is saying that by constructing dam and embankment, one can prevent this soil erosion, which during the flood time period, the rivers easily wash away the soil. To stop that, dams and embankments are built. Okay, strong dams and embankments are built at places where water strikes against the bank. Okay, and dams are built across the river area to control the force of flood. Okay, and walls of rocks and stones built against the bank are called embankments. Okay, and when the water flow is slow, then that process just stop the this soil erosion one. Okay, it just cannot cause much damage to the soil, and the soil can't get easily eroded. Okay, now here you can see in this image These dams reduce soil erosion. You can see this dam which reduces the soil erosion. Okay. Now we come to the point, quenching your scientific thirst. Okay. It is saying an average soil sample is 45% minerals, 25% water, 25% air, and 5% organic matter. Different size mineral particles such as sand, silt, and clay give soil its texture. Okay, so it is saying that an average soil sample is 45% mineral, 25% water, and 25% air, and the 5% is organic matter. Okay, and different size mineral particles such as sand, silt, and clay give the soil texture. Okay, give the soil its texture. Now we're going to talk about some scientific terms. So the first one is burrow. Small holes in the soil used to live in by some animals. Okay, so basically burrow is a small hole in the soil which is used to live in by some animals like rat, rabbit, etc. Excretion is what? To remove the waste from the body is known as excretion. Okay, humus is what? The organic constituent of soil usually formed by the decomposition of plants and leaves by soil bacteria. Okay, that is known as humus. Okay, next one, mineral salts. So a salt containing natural substance like oil, coal, etc. That is mineral salts. Next one, nutrients, a substance essential for a living thing to live and grow. That is known as nutrients. Okay, like for example, nitrogen is very much essential for plants to grow, and that nitrogen plant gets by the help of the bacteria rhizobium. Okay, now we come to the point, chapter at a glance. Here it is saying the first one, soil is a mixture of organic and inorganic matter. Soil is a mixture of organic and inorganic matter. Okay, soil is formed from rocks that are the deep layers of the soil. Okay, topsoil, subsoil, and bedrock are the different layers of the soil. So there are three different layers: topsoil, subsoil, and bedrock. Okay, next one, gravel soil, sandy soil, clay soil, and loamy soil are the different types of soil. So the different types of soils are gravel soil, sandy soil, clay soil, and loamy soil. 4 types are there. Then next one, the carrying away of the topsoil by wind and water is called soil erosion. Okay, and the next one is the protection of topsoil from being blown away or washed away is called soil conservation, is known as soil conservation. Okay, next one, we should adopt different methods for conservation of soil such as terrace farming, growing of grass and trees, and building dams or embankments. Okay, now class, we're gonna do some exercises. So the first one is fill in the blanks with the correct word. So the first question is, plants get water and nutrients from the dash. So basically plants get water and nutrients from the soil. So you have to write soil in this blank. Okay. Now second one, dash soil is fertile and suitable for plants to grow. So which soil is fertile for plants to grow? It is loamy. So you have to write loamy here. Then dash soil is light and contains a little quantity of organic matter. So this is what? This is sandy soil. So you have to write sandy in this. Okay. Cutting of trees on a large scale results in dash. So cutting of trees on a large scale is known as deforestation. So you have to write deforestation in this blank. Next one, the protection of topsoil from being blown away or washed away is called dash. So the protection of topsoil of being blown away or washed away by river water is known as soil conservation. You are conserving the soil. So just write soil conservation in this blank. Okay. Now we're gonna do some true or false one. Write T for the true and F for the false statement. So the first question, the organic matter consists of decayed plants and animals. So yes, the organic matter is consist of decayed plants and animals, so it is true. So write T here. Next is humus makes the soil fertile. So it is saying that humus makes the soil fertile. So yes, humus makes the soil fertile, true. Next is subsoil is suitable for growing plants. No, it is topsoil which is suitable for growing plants. So this statement is false. Next one, clay is a light soil. No, clay is a heavy one, not a light soil. So this is also false. Next one, plants grow well in soft soil. So it is saying that plants grow well in soft soil. Yes, plants grow well in soft soil, not the hard one, because in that hard one, that in cemented form, it can't be able to grow well. Okay. So we will say true. Next one, we can prevent soil erosion completely. Not completely. We can just prevent soil erosion by some methods, but we can't completely prevent it. Okay. So this is false. So just write F here. Now come to the one word one. Give one word for each one of the following. So the first one is, this soil holds little water. It is saying this soil holds little water. Okay. So which type of soil hold little water? Is it loamy? Is it sandy? Or is it this one, gravel soil? So this one is sandy soil. So you have to write sandy soil in this blank in the first one. And the second one, bacteria fix this gas from atmosphere. You have to name that gas, that is nitrogen. Okay, so write nitrogen in this blank. Then third one, they help us control flood. So what is the thing that help us control flood? Okay, that is dam or embankment. Okay, so you can write dam here, or embankment you can write. Okay. Now the another one is MCQ, that is tick the right option. So the first question is, topmost layer of soil is known as topsoil, subsoil, bedrock, or none of these. It is topsoil. So just tick topsoil. The organic matter of soil consists of rocks, mineral salts, decayed plants and animals, or none of these. So the organic matter consists of decayed plants and animals. So just stick that one. Then the third one, this is used for laying roads. Okay. So is it like sandy soil, clayey soil, gravel soil? So this is gravel soil. Tick that one. Next one, bedrock consists of dash. Bedrock consists of dash. Is it humus? Is it clay? Or is it hard solid rock? Bedrock is hard solid rock. So just tick that one. Next one, dash a mixture of clay, sand and humus. Dash is a mixture of clay, sand and humus. Is it gravel soil? Is it clay? Or is it hard solid rocks? Or is it none of these? So basically, gravel soil is not at all the mixture, because it is used for laying roads, and clay itself is not a mixture of its own, like clay, sand and humus one, and hard solid rocks is actually bedrock. So that means the answer is none of these. If they have given loamy soil, then we can say that loamy soil is a mixture of clay, sand and humus. So students, I hope you understood this chapter, and make sure to go through this chapter and also practice the MCQ and fill in the blanks. And your homework is, you have to write down about the soil and types of soil, and you can make the diagram also. So till then students, take care. Goodbye.